Hey there, I'm Sara, a portrait and wedding photographer and your host for Wedding Secrets Unveiled. This is a podcast where we cut through the complexity of wedding planning, leaving you with everything you need to know directly from the industry experts. If you want to simplify your wedding planning while having fun, of course, you came to the right place. Join me while I guide you through your planning, starting from your engagement to your big day when you say, I do. After photographing for over 20 years, I am sharing with you tips and tricks to cut through the excess noise. Because I believe from the moment you said yes, your planning experience should be a magical time in your life. Here you'll find episodes that are fun, stress-free, and straight to the point with a fresh, honest take on the reality of what you really need to know about planning your perfect day. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella, and today's episode is just a spicy, fun one. Have you ever played the game Never Have I Ever? Well, today I have three fabulous women on today's show, and we are just having a good old fun game of Never Have I Ever. So if you are just looking for pure entertainment and to laugh and a little bit of shocking stories, today's episode is for you. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella, and we have a great episode today. Thanks to Katie for coming up with the idea, and thanks for you two for playing.
Anything for Katie.
See, look at that. Look at your fan club there, right?
Oh,
Let's see what they feel like after this
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to play Never Have I Ever, right?
Woo.
But before we get going, for our listeners, we got to tell everybody who you all are. So we'll start at the end and work our way down. So can you tell everybody who you are, who you serve, and what you do?
So I'm Em Devaud. I'm the owner of Em Devaud Events. I started back in 2011 doing weddings. Prior to that, I worked for a variety of venues, mainly the Longwood Events Company, and have just been on my own since then. It's been great.
Hi, I'm Pamela D'Orsi. I own PDR Events. I also own New England Invitations. I've been doing weddings and events for 17 years now. I've produced events in Newport, New York City, Palm Beach, and Naples, Florida. And I absolutely love what I do. I pinch myself every day. And it's a great field to be in. And I've met a lot of great people.
And Em, you are a rookie on our podcast, but Pamela has been a returning guest. I want to say we've had you on like 5 times now.
Oh, really? So much fun. Sometimes we have to cut because we're laughing so hard.
So there's that. So welcome, Em, and welcome back, Pam. And Katie, you've been on our podcast a lot too. Actually, you were one of the first.
Really?
One of the first, yeah. First season, for sure.
Wow.
We're going on 6 seasons now. There you go.
I was right on it, huh? Yeah, so I'm Katie Ryan. I own Katie Ryan Events. I've been in the event industry since I was 23. Now I'm 43, so I'm not good at math. But about over 20 years. But I started planning events, kind of getting out of the operations side in 2017. So it's been almost 9-10 years of planning. And yeah, I get to work with incredible people, incredible couples. And I love it. It's absolutely a dream.
All right. Are you guys ready? All right. So here we go. Never have I ever. Thank you first for joining.
I'm breaking out in hives.
I'm saying this now because
I'm breaking out in hives.
Come back again.
I know. I'm
so
literally.
I'm just saying thank you for joining me, and I'm just saying this now because you, for our listeners, you'll probably never see them again after this. All right. Here we go. Never have I ever. I'll start gracefully.
Oh, you guys, okay? Gosh.
Never have I ever. Let's see. Let me see. I'll skip that
heart
one.
Is literally
Me
beating.
too. Me too. Because once it's out on the internet, it's like.
Yeah, once it's there.
All right. Never have I ever saved a vendor's butt and took all the credit for it.
Wait. You have taken credit for saving a vendor's butt?
Oh, no. Yeah, I have. No.
I understood the assignment.
No, never. Okay, yeah. No, never.
Yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors. I don't care who takes it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
100%.
Yeah. As long as as long as the product or service gets
Yeah,
done.
done.
No.
Yeah. One team, one goal.
Yeah. That's
All
a
right.
pimple on
Sorry,
the
I
watermelon.
got
so
team,
good. One team, one goal.
Yep.
All right,
No.
Never have I ever thought that this event was cursed.
Wait, what do we all have?
We
Oh,
all
100%.
I have. I was like, oh God. All right, going on brand. Never have I ever thought that a couple should not get married.
Oh gosh, yeah, more than one.
I'm sorry.
I mean, when you're dealing with hundreds of different couples, it's actually becomes
Yeah.
very obvious.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think even in the beginning stages of maybe this might not be a good idea, but our job is not to say that.
Well, that was my question. Never have I ever told a couple that maybe
No,
they should.
absolutely
Oh,
not.
no,
But are
no,
there
no, no.
telltale signs? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
Pamela,
found
hold
during-
on.
No,
Nope.
yeah. Sometimes
Can we
during
plead the
yeah.
fifth?
Yeah, no, sometimes during the phone calls you can tell
Yeah.
it's getting a little escalated.
Or
and
in
I just
person.
say like, okay, let's table this. Why don't you guys go discuss it and then come back? And then I hang up the phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, like he is so controlling, this poor girl.
Oh. I
So-
found during COVID that was the highest stress is at the point where you were deciding whether to move
Yep.
the weddings or not, you got a really in-depth look into their relationships and how they handled really big decisions. And there were,
I think you see that on
yeah.
calls just
Mm.
at any
Yeah.
point. you
there's
know?
moments where I've gone like,
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I would say statistically, I hate to say this, but statistically, 50% of couples do end with the big D.
67.
Oh, it's up now? Are you
Yes.
serious?
Mhm. And from what I heard, 11% of those couples actually stay in an unhappy marriage
Correct.
because
I read
of
that same thing.
children
Yes.
and not,
Out of that.
either having the means or even the courage, because it's scary
It's
to
scary
make
to do
a
that,
big
yeah.
jump like that. Because ultimately,
So what are we dealing with? Only 20% or 15% now?
Are happily married.
So I had a
I think,
situation. I had a situation where the photographer,
Um,
the photographer called me, and it was about 10 months before the wedding, after the wedding, and she was putting together their album, and she's like, Pamela, do you know that A and B are no longer together? And to be honest, halfway through the reception, we couldn't find him, and he was out in the parking lot. He was out somewhere, and it was like. So, like, I never thought that was going to happen on the wedding day because he was just very nice, went with the
Yeah.
flow and everything. And 10 months later, they're like, yes, they were divorced.
That happens actually a lot where, because, I'm doing like same thing. We're doing their albums after or whatever. And I have multiple albums I have not finished because of their divorce. In fact, there's one couple, which I still guilty. I still every now and then I don't have time to go on social media and look at my couples. I just don't and and just see what's going on in their life. I mean,
it's not that we don't want to. You love them, but it's
no,
too much.
and it's not that I just don't have time. But this particular couple, every now and then I will search because I need to get to the bottom of are they or are they not together. They got married about 4 years ago. I still have yet to finish their album. I can't get a hold of them. I can't track them down. They're not responding. I mean, they paid for it.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped, but they're still together, or at least on social media. They look like they're still together, but it was a particular wedding that Dan and I, literally, I'll never forget it. Dan turned to me and was like, should we tell the groom to blink 3 times if he needs help? It was just
Or I love-
one of those weddings where we're just like, blink if you need help. Like, it was so blatantly obvious that this.
Wipe your brow if you need us. We're coming in.
We were just like, this poor guy.
I-
Like,
yeah.
it just was. It was so obvious, like to the point where Dan was like, when they were cutting the cake, he's like, should we just ask him to blink 3 times if he needs help? Like, what's happening here? She was
Knock
something.
3 times on the ceiling if you need.
Sarah,
help.
I was with the groom, and the bride showed up in a U-Haul to drop everything off the day before, and I was, my jaw dropped. I was like, this wasn't
Without
on
the
the wedding
groom.
script. Without the groom, and then other people came
you
to
all
help.
drop her wedding stuff.
She
off of
walked
her?
up
By
at the
herself.
venue, so she
God,
was
okay.
missing some minuscule thing. Let's just say a picture frame that outlined what a flower was for the flower toss. I'm not kidding you. This we had to find it the morning of the wedding. All of this, the groom is filling out his vows and burst into tears.
Oh.
Started shaking, had a panic attack to the point where I just hugged him. And I'm like, it's all going to be all right. I'm like, just breathe. Let's take a walk outside. I felt so bad because this bride, like the intensity that she had to make sure everything like was perfect,
Yeah.
got put on the groom, and the poor guy was crumbling.
Well, that's what happened with this particular
Oh,
one. I
my
mean, to
gosh.
the point where like this particular bride was like, I don't want to say too much because it's going to give it away because there's a very unique situation that's happening during her reception. But let's just say there was moments where she would get up on the dance floor and dance and then put on this big happy face and then walk off the dance floor and be really pissed off and start screaming and yelling, and it was like on her face, and then go back up and dance again. It was so bizarre.
Crazy.
You know what I think?
It was bizarre.
You know
It was
what I started
crazy.
doing? And our job is obviously to create and do these magical moments for couples, and we are in this industry because we love it. So, but also noticing the couple's interaction and what will be helpful for them in the future moving forward. So I actually give my little gift to them at their wedding, after their wedding, is the book 5 Languages of Love, with a card. And I write inside of the book, like, no matter what happens, if you guys read this together as a couple,
Right.
you know, there's going to be ups and downs, and we don't want anything bad to happen towards the end. We want relationships to be
Yeah,
successful
but it's
in
still
marriages.
a relationship. You always
Right.
have to nurture.
So the only thing that I could think of when I'm watching this kind of happen is how can I help moving forward after they leave me and after they're actually in the real world and the fun and the show's done, which show is the wrong
And the
word, but
pictures
it
are all
kind
off
of is turning
Instagram.
into a show.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
I know
I
what you're
think being
yeah.
able to provide them some helpful tools to move forward, because marriages aren't easy. And I think everybody can attest to that.
And
So
it's not just like your partner too. It's like you're marrying into dynamics. Like if you ask my husband, my husband was
100%.
like, someone should have warned me.
Maybe that's
about
why
the
I'm
family I
still
was
not married and
but here
single.
he is. I mean, he
They heard
knew.
about my family. Sorry about that.
But yeah, no, it's just, you know, I didn't realize the statistics were that high.
Yep.
They are.
Higher than 50.
Okay, so
All right. Late and breezy.
Yeah. That,
all right,
that got
going
deep
breezy?
fast.
Yeah.
All right, never have I
Katie.
ever dated a vendor. Ooh.
I stay out of those waters big time.
I was gonna
I will
say.
say learning lessons.
Okay.
Okay. But
Interesting.
Do you still see this vendor?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you give
None of your
him the
business.
book?
Either of you. All of you.
Given the book.
All of you. None of your business. Does this
question. That might be the best question in every podcast that we're gonna do. Did you?
I quit. I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, next.
Okay, next.
Oh my goodness.
It's getting hot here.
It was
That
one.
was
It was
good.
one time.
It was good. Did
All
you
right.
give him the book?
Okay, never have I ever fixed a vendor's work so they wouldn't have a bad review.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, you are.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what you guys are there for to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like I said, one team, one goal.
Okay, I'm putting this on because Katie, this was one of your questions you texted me. I'm just sending it out to the universe. Never have I ever had a UTI because I didn't use the bathroom on site.
No, I dehydrated though. I dehydrated
Yeah.
and woke up at 3:00 in the morning.
Did you not
Throwing
want-
up, and
Yeah.
it was that
What?
your stomach. That was the worst.
So-
Was it gross bathroom?
What do you mean?
That you just
No, I did not have
no, you
time.
get so busy,
No,
you
you
just
get
keep
so
going.
busy.
Like
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
no time.
I know.
Every 5 seconds, somebody needs something.
Yeah.
You notice something. You have vendors asking
Those
you
are
a
usually
thousand
attention
questions.
weddings.
So
Yeah.
I always, of course, put everybody else before
First,
me,
yeah.
which I'm learning some
I mean, it's the
boundaries
same
here
thing.
and
The
making some
photographer's
time.
there
But
all day too. you
no,
know?
that
So I
has
usually
happened.
start with my clients before hair and makeup arrives, and then I stay till the very end because otherwise I would just be home worried about the clients.
Mhm.
So, which does no one any good. So there's times where I've started at 6 a.m. or early. My earliest start time was 4:30 in the morning, which was a very large wedding party. And then I don't get home until 1 or 2 in the
Yeah.
morning. And there have been times where I go, I forgot to eat. Even when there was a vendor meal, I've forgotten to eat for the entire day because you're so focused on making everything go so smoothly.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
there's been days where I wake up the next day and I feel like absolutely hungover and hit by a Mack truck.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a
Wedding
purely because
hangover.
I
Yeah.
didn't drink enough water.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Well,
Just
that's
'cause you
why I
don't
come
time.
loaded with Gatorades and
Gatorade.
PBJs.
Well,
to
I
heat it out.
discovered this year. I know I'm late to the game. Electrolytes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and you have to the day before.
Yeah.
So, with this weekend coming up, I actually have my electrolytes. I'm going to have them the day before. But just a little thing about.
Is it the water ones that put you that you put in the water?
I put it in. I do it in smart water, and
Okay.
then I screw the thing back on, and I have them. But you should be doing it the day before. But I don't have my first bite of anything until after the formalities.
Mhm.
So the ceremony, and I'm
Yeah,
not
same here.
hungry. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and the one thing
Yeah.
that I have to like commend myself for is I love that I'm still on high alert 17 years later.
Yes.
Like it's still the
Yes.
first
Yeah.
it's still the first
Yeah.
wedding I've ever done, and I gotta nail it.
Well, I think that's why the four of us are still sitting here right now.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Literally, I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years. How long have you been?
So I started my own company in 2011, and before that, so my first events job was I was a junior in high school.
Yeah. So you're up there.
Yeah, I started doing corporate events.
Pam, how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing my own events for 17 years, but I was in the junior league of both Rhode Island and Atlanta, and that's where I started. I started doing events
same
for
thing.
them.
So you're in the 20-something years. And then, Katie, how long have you been doing
I
it?
mean, my first event that I did was I was 24.
So we're all in 20-something years of doing this. So, I mean, like, and it's still to this day, and we all get excited. It's all like,
It's because it's
in our
different every
bones.
time too.
It's different every, I
And
know.
every client brings different personalities and different excitement, and yeah.
And we're still just not seasoned enough just to keep eating. But
I know.
I would also
electrolytes.
I'd also get crushed on this with social media if I say something on a thread or if I voice my opinion about vendor meals. I get absolutely nailed from
Okay.
people that haven't worked with me before.
There's a whole Instagram thing about bad vendor meals. I just learned about
it's
those.
not even bad vendor meals.
How
It's
about
them
the bad
complaining.
chicken and it's so dry?
so
Seriously? Can I
it's
have
not-
the vegetarian?
It's
Sorry, go,
not,
Katie, go,
no.
Katie.
It's not that. It's just I have a very hard time. I think it's because planners specifically are the main point of contact, and we do not stop. And if I'm on site from 7 a.m. till 1 a.m. and the last thing I'm thinking about is eating, because we have so much to capture and make sure that runs perfectly, and I'm also talking to 25 people at one time. So if a vendor comes up to me and says, "When's vendor meal?" The first thing I want to do is kick them in the face.
worst.
Number one, you can't tell I'm
Bring a granola
multitasking
bar.
a billion things, but also like, it's not that I don't feel vendors should not eat. I also feel like we're adults. We know how events run, nonstop pivots and things that change constantly. So like if it says 8 o'clock, you might not be eating till 11. Don't cry about it. Like just figure it out or go make yourself a sandwich.
Or you know what you should do? Bring
a
the beef
lunch
turkey
like
sticks.
everybody else. And I'm not saying that vendors shouldn't
Yeah.
eat. Of course we need to eat and like, take care of ourselves. But if you hire a contractor to fix your roof, are we in charge of buying their team pizza? Are we in charge of, making sure that they take a break and like anybody that you're doing? So vendors, it's like also not for nothing, but photographers, videographers, you guys start around 1. We start at 7. You guys work from 1 till like 9, 10 o'clock, certain amount of hours. We're nonstop.
How about the band?
We
though?
don't eat.
Let's talk about the band.
Let's not
The
talk
band,
about
You're
the
going
band.
right for the jugular.
Yes. Okay. So listen. So I always say
That wasn't.
I've been.
It's just like it's.
And you got and the photographers, and plus you're like now you're on. Okay, like I'm taking a little back seat. I'm going back to decor. You're on with them. The bands, I never will forget this. They come in, the strings are playing to the cocktail hour. Yes, they're warming up a little bit, and the main singers, get there maybe an hour before.
Oh yeah.
They went through the buffet and there was nothing to eat. I am not saying. So I have to put in my emails to the band, take your portion size because it will be a buffet.
Because we also have time to do that
this
as well.
happens all the time where like it's a joke. Like the bands will come in and just take it, and then a lot of times we don't eat when the bands are because like we're still dealing with whatever the couple wants.
Right.
And so the band's taking their break when they've just been on set for 20 minutes only. And like you said, the main singers show up. It's usually the sound guys that come in hours
early.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And so they had to take their, their break. And all of a sudden we come back and the buffet is just cleared out. We're like, okay.
Yeah, I'll have a roll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or
Oh my
butter.
gosh, even the butter's gone.
Bread and butter. Yeah.
That's
it.
All right. We'll talk
Okay.
more about that in our next episode. But back to Never Have I Ever, okay?
Ooh.
Never have I ever had another planner cold call me, know that they are doing that and just play along.
Is there a plead the fifth on here?
Wait a minute. What is it?
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Is it
We
the
all
my
that's
God.
amazing. You know what that shows? experience.
You all, and you just play. There
You
you
know,
go. Play along. Give them the info.
we
It's-
used to
it's all
work
good.
for like Katie and I actually used to. We overlapped at a venue where the director at the time had the not robocallers. What are they called when the sales force or whatever, where they come in and they call you and they basically rate your performance so that you can quote unquote become better.
Secret shopper, like
The secret shoppers, yeah. And you learn you could always pick them out because it was like certain times of the month they would call
Certain
and
questions they
certain
would
questions
ask
and
would
like
red
the
flag
way
you.
they would ask things. It was like, okay, so when you get the shopping from other planners, and here's the thing, quite frankly, Newport and this New England area, it's a small community. And if you really want to know my pricing, call me up.
Ask.
Say, hey, Em, can we go for coffee? I just want to make sure that I'm in line with your pricing. I don't like I'm an open book because again,
Same.
there's enough business to go around. It's
Same.
the number 2 wedding destination in the US for years. And I would rather work together as a community than be secret shopped. I just think it's really sneaky.
Well, yeah, there's something to to say that like there's
Yeah.
3 of you guys sitting here. You are 3 event planners, and you guys have
Yeah.
all. I see it. You guys will all work together. You all help each other out, and then some. There's other
Yeah.
event planners. You do the same. It's the same thing in
Always.
the
If
photography
somebody
world.
needs
We're
something.
all we're all here to help each other out as a community.
Yeah. I did actually to kind of tail end onto this and then I dovetail and then we can move on. I went to a Preston Bailey and David Tutera expo. It was like for wedding planners, it was like classes down in Florida. And they had destination planners from all over, from the Caribbean, from the South, literally all over, though I was the most northern planner there. And every single planner I got chatting with there is probably a group of like 30 to 40 of us. And every single one was talking about how cutthroat it is. In Miami, you price yourself initially because at a certain point because you're trying to undercut each other and outdo each other and get a deal. And I couldn't I had a hard time fathoming this because I was like, no, everyone gets along and we're all, and if one of my colleagues calls me up for help, of course I help them. And they couldn't understand that either. It was an eye-opening experience because you forget being in this bubble. So anyway.
Well, then we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
we are. I think we will take a quick break, and then when we get back, I'm going to get in some juicy ones.
Oh.
I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. And don't forget, you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And I would so appreciate if you left a fabulous review on Apple Podcast. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support. And now, let's get back to the episode. All right. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella, and we're just going to get right back into it, okay? So never have I ever. Here we go. Drum roll. Walked in on someone having sex. Stop. Oh, yeah. Do tell.
Oh boy.
It's the 2 in my time. One of them was actually kind of funny. They were supposed to go to their after party, and I was bringing all their personal stuff to the hotel room. And I will tell you, 99.99% of the time, I knock on the door and then I open it because I usually have a key by the end of the day. And this was one of those. It went so late, and I was like, just trying to. The elevator was broken, so I'm like hauling all this, and I just went ahead and in and opened, and it was. It sounded like I looked like one of my fairy smut books that I read, and on the side, and I was impressed. But it was one of those you tastefully go, ooh, and you close the door, and about 10 minutes later, they came out and they were, oh, Em, I didn't know you were here.
Well,
and
I
was
knew
like,
you were
yeah,
here.
yes, you did.
Did you get a good tip?
I know. No, she did. No, I did.
Wow.
But that was funny. And then I did walk into someone during their wedding reception. in the bridal suite. It was right before the cake cutting, and I went to go get the bride wanted her lipstick in the bridal suite. So I went in and I opened up the door, and it was the groom with the best man.
Oh my God, that's hot and juicy.
Did they know that you saw them?
No,
Can I cover myself with this curtain
they
right
were,
now?
Yeah.
No, so they were facing away from me, though it was very clear what was happening. And I did one of those opening the doors, and I went, ooh, and then I closed the door very quietly, and I had my own lipstick that I
Oh yeah.
to
Oh,
the
God.
bride. I said, oh, here you go.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Are they still
You know,
married?
it's funny and also simultaneously sad at the same time.
Statistically,
Are they still
probably
married?
not.
Do you know?
I don't know about that couple. I don't know about that
poor
one.
thing.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
be stalking that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's one or two that I've stalked to see if they're still together, but not that one.
I in the very beginning stages of my career, I want to say maybe like the first or second wedding that I've ever done, I walked in on the bride and the best man.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if they were full-fledged having sex or whatever
Yeah.
because it was in a bathroom stall, but
It
they
doesn't
were
even matter.
they
Some
were
kissing is more intimate than
that's
sex.
They were doing something in that stall. I was like, "Oh, is this the career
Anyway,
path I'm going to
fucking
choose?"
Dogs can have sex. Anyone can have sex. Kissing is intimate.
So
Yeah.
so Sarah, as a follow-up, because I've told the stories that I just told you a couple of times to
I know what you're going to
wedding
ask
party
me.
and stuff. How I've been asked
I
myself.
know you're going to ask me.
Is it your place to say something?
I
And
knew you were going to ask me that.
No,
I will say the couple that I ran into, it was not my place. I was very young.
Yeah.
I was just starting out my career.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I even I was just trying to figure out how to take a picture at them.
I don't think it would ever be our place.
I'm just
I
trying
don't
to
think it's
pose.
anybody's place.
I am
Um,
staunchly now. Listen, if it's my girlfriend and
yeah,
of
different
course
story.
it's a totally different story. It is professionally not my place.
Yes. So I
in
was
my
about to
opinion.
say,
agree.
if I ran into that now, I don't think I would. I will tell you personally in my life, I have ran into that with my friend, and I did say something.
I did
And
the same thing.
I did say something.
Why would you
and
not?
That's a
because I
different-
just couldn't
Yeah.
It's a
So
different
different.
get
experience.
past it. And this actually just happened twice for me with my friends. One, I knew that there was an affair going on. I didn't see it, but I saw them out and I knew there was an affair. And the other one, I legitly caught them hooking up. So both times the reaction was different, and I don't regret my reaction. But one, the person I told, we're still friendly, but they're not as close to me, and they're still married, and I just feel like she's handling it in a way of just like a denial situation. So it actually didn't do anything. It didn't help me to tell her. It didn't help her to tell her. Does that make sense? And actually it was worse because our friendship is kind of like.
Yeah, you kind of have to figure out that.
But I don't regret it because I did my job as far as being a loyal, moral person. I don't think I could tell you if the roles were reversed and no one told me, I would be upset. So I have to handle myself in the way that I treat others the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
The other person, I told them, and that marriage has dissolved, and it's upsetting to me that I was the reason because I told them,
You
but I
weren't the
wasn't
reason.
but I wasn't the reason.
You weren't the reason.
And she has since moved on, and she's very happy, and she is not stuck in a shitty marriage.
Good.
Oh, good.
The thing with telling a bride or a groom or whoever is that, I mean, the headlines on social media is like wedding planner or photographer ruined my marriage. Do you know what I mean? When it's like, no, I just went. It's just not.
I'm terrified.
Our place.
This is going to be released, and I'm going to have my girls go, "Do you think I should be marrying him?"
I
I'm be like,
Katie,
delete.
I don't know.
Can
It's
I
one
get
of
the
those
book
things
before?
where it's like,
And to answer it,
you're
no.
just-
All my couples are
you're
amazing.
hired to do a job.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly.
know.
I always
I mean,
joke.
for all you know, she might know
Yeah.
about it.
I
was just
know.
gonna say
That's what
maybe
I
they
mean. You don't
discussed
know the
open
family
marriage.
you
That
don't
was
know-
my second.
Yeah, you don't know the
You don't
dynamics
know
of the
them
relationship.
personally.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, you really don't know them
Polyamorous,
personally.
what's it called?
So
Pol-
yeah.
I don't know.
She's so woke.
I don't want to know.
All right. Never have I ever seen someone steal decor, flowers, or alcohol at an
Oh
event.
my gosh, I have. I'm like, really?
See somebody?
Yeah.
Steal?
Seen
Well,
somebody.
it's just like
Steal decor or
something
Yeah.
of like
we
value.
had
Yeah.
these
a
cute
guest or a vendor?
anybody.
Anybody.
I had a vendor that it was like Mother's Day the next day, and they were taking flowers. I I had that. And then I was like, oh, really? And the people were going back to Minnesota. So honestly, but like didn't ask. Then another one, we had these cute little lamps, like with the little black shades and everything.
They like
We
that.
started off at 9. We had 3 at the end of the night, and I saw 2 like they went right out the door. The funniest thing is they were still lit. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Talk about that's really incognito.
I watched an auntie open her purse and put in her dirty set of forks, knives,
Oh,
spoons.
stop
And
it.
I swear,
Stop.
yes, I watched
You
her
didn't
just.
say anything? I would have went
I mean,
right over
honestly,
and been
if you
like, just so you know.
If you are that desperate for one set of flatware and plateware,
Yeah.
And by the
who
end
am
of
I
the
to
night, we're
stop
too
you?
Yeah.
tired anyway. We're
I
like,
will
take
tell
it.
you, I saw a wedding planner steal my tip.
No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Are they
gosh.
still in the industry?
You know what? I don't know. I don't even know who this event planner was. Like, I mean,
Wow.
That's
is she?
awful.
I don't even know who she was. I've never seen her before. And like, but
Or
the
again, hopefully.
the couple is still to this day a client of mine because I did their wedding. They got married at the
That's
Chandler,
terrible.
and they have now since had 2 babies. And I do their pictures, and they
Aw.
know. Like I told them. Like I struggled a little bit before they were like my couple. Does that make sense? Like they were like meaning they were my couple, but now they're like they're part of the SC family. Like, and I've now since told them. But when that first happened, I was like, how do I want to say something to them? Not because I want my tip more, but it's like this person just stole
You're a
from
better
me.
person than me. I would have
And
absolutely
like, and she
addressed
even
that.
went so
That's
far to be
awful.
like, message me on Facebook and be like, "What's your address? I have to send you your tip." I'm like, "Honey, who are you fooling? Like, I know what you did." Like she stole my tip. She stole the videographer's tip.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, there's something else going on in her life that she's stealing tips.
And then
Voice
because
the
I
reason
know
over
why
here.
she messaged me on Facebook because I messaged her.
Oh.
I'm like, "Hey, FYI," because I was just like, FYI, so and so said that you had my envelope.
Yes,
I mean, I
yes.
was just baiting her to be like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna
Yeah.
like actually Venmo me or stand up and do something? And she's like, "Oh yeah, what's your address? I'll send it to you." And nothing, crickets, whatever.
Mm.
But yeah. All right.
I'm sorry that happened
Yeah.
to you.
Thank you.
Isn't it? You've been in business all these years. We've done all these weddings, and that's the stuff that you remember. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just pings you, and it's gonna be there.
It pissed me off though because it was just it's not her money, and it's just like I remember too because she had all the money in her purse. And I was like, what is happening
That's
right now? I
shitty.
just knew before it even happened. I'm like, something is bizarre. Like she was taking out money and giving it to people from her purse, and it was weird amounts. I'm like, oh, this girl just took envelopes, opened it up, stuck it in her wallet.
Wow.
It was
Hopefully she's not in business anymore.
I had the messenger. You know how messenger stays in your history?
Yes, it
I should
does.
track her down.
Mm.
But I mean, the couple, it ended up being like a substantial amount of, like it wasn't $100. It was like $300 or $400 that they gave us. Oh yes, it was just and I want to say, something happened where he must have reached out to her. I don't know. I can't remember those details, but listen.
The thing is
she
that's
stole.
not the first time it's happened.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay. Never have I ever heard gossip at an event that I definitely should not have known.
Ooh.
I won't even ask. We'll just move on.
Don't.
Won't tell.
Okay. Never have I ever quietly judged a client's taste, but then kind of regretted it afterwards.
What do you mean?
Like you kind of like judge their taste, but then when you saw it all put together, you're like, oh, this is actually nice. Never.
I had a wedding
Okay.
that was, and they were so stinking sweet. They met playing a pirate video game called Monkey Island. And this was
Oh.
Where is this going?
so
Actually.
I worked for a venue at the time, and so it's not like I didn't seek out this client. Like it was just one that was assigned to me, and like they loved this pirate themed wedding based on this this video game, and to the point where they had an ice sculpture that was the Monkey Head Island, and they got married on one of the pirate ship's boats in Newport. They docked. They walked over to the venue.
Oh, they went all
I
out.
actually think that's really cool.
Yeah.
They did a swashbuckling first dance with like a whole thing. And this is, was originally I was like, oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah.
corny. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, these guys are owning it. They're nerddom together, and I love it. And in fact, I had a lot of conversations with the staff that day because a lot of them were like making fun of the couple and doing that. And I was like, guys, this is their dream wedding. We don't have to say this is my favorite decor of all time, but
Yeah.
they were so happy into them. That was their perfect day. It was awesome.
That reminds me, I had a couple, now that you said that,
Yeah.
because I was trying to think of like a design that I didn't necessarily like or didn't like,
Mhm.
because everybody, whatever you love, you love.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not
right.
my job to change that.
Yeah.
I did have a couple come to me. They were incredibly sweet, very eccentric, and she had this vision of a Beauty and the Beast wedding
Oh.
for her entire life.
Oh.
And they were getting married at a beautiful venue. And I loved them, just their energy. I knew it was going to be really fun to work with them for a year and a half, and they would keep me laughing and on my toes for sure. But if you say Beauty and the Beast, I immediately cringe. And then I made it very clear, we can do Beauty and the Beast, but we're going to do it tastefully and little pops here and there. And they trusted my guidance, and it actually came out beautiful. But at first I was like, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, the
oh."
invitations. I did their invitations, and remember we did just the
Oh,
spot.
d-
Yes,
yep.
we just did the
I
spot
was like,
of the
take out the
candle.
candle.
No,
do
and
this.
she
Take
said,
out,
take out the
get
candle.
rid of
Just
that.
in this, and I go, let's just show it to them and see what they say. They came back.
They
They
loved it.
loved
They
everything.
loved
And
it.
then the invitations.
I made
Yeah.
the uh table numbers because I was obsessed with the Beauty and the Beast idea of using an antique book and using table numbers for chapters, and doing like calligraphy as the table, but I couldn't find an antique book. So I'm in my kitchen baking
The pages.
sheets of pages after you dip them in coffee and tea. By the way, you can do that to make them look antique.
Yeah.
And then sent them to a calligrapher and got it done.
The
With
wedding was
cute little things,
beautiful.
but it was gorgeous.
Well, going on the same theme, right? What about never have I ever told a couple that their taste is just not going to work? Never. Never. Katie, you have to
Yeah.
tell.
Not that their taste isn't going to
It's
work.
just their
Yeah,
idea's
that
not
and
gonna
that
fly.
Their idea at the venue, I would definitely speak up. I guide them, and I watch, and I kind of monitor, and I want them to feel like it's
Mhm.
their ideas and everything that come together. But if I notice something that will look terrible, you're paying for photos, video. It
Yeah.
is my job to kind of step in and go, this is mismatching, and this is kind of like a very what's a good word to use when it's like
Okay,
all over the
yeah,
place,
so
like
I-
a
yeah.
thrift store gone wild kind of
Yes.
thing. I think it is my job to kind of say
Fair.
something.
But never have I said like that's not going to work. This is what I just say. There's
Right.
a disconnect between
Mm.
what you're doing for your like day of stationery versus what's on your tablescape.
Yeah.
We've got two different things going on here.
Yeah.
So you direct them that way.
Mhm.
And then like, I tell them your whole Pinterest board is not showing up at your wedding. So like,
Yeah.
is it the mason
Yes.
jars or is it
Yeah.
the cut crystal votives? So things
Yeah.
like that, but never directly
Yeah.
like your taste is not going
No,
to work. I mean,
I don't think.
that's like-
I mean, if you
But,
do have a
yeah.
planner that does that, get rid of them.
So yeah, so you just like kind of guide them. Also, you've got to remind them if they're in a tent, if they're in a ballroom, if they're in a
you have to
country
keep
club.
them focused.
So different.
Yep. Yeah. You dedefinitely have to keep them focused. And
Yeah.
like you said, the Pinterest board has
Stay
to be
in the
narrowed.
lane. Stay in the lane.
All right, I'll do like a couple more.
Okay.
All right. Never have I ever walked off site and just totally took off a vendor on the preferred vendor list.
Yep.
All right.
100%.
Boom. Done.
Yep.
Crossed off.
100%.
I couldn't get home fast enough.
I had
Does
a,
anybody want to share?
I had a
Not
photographer.
the who it was,
No,
but
no,
like
no.
at story.
I had a photographer yell at my bride and groom.
Oh.
They, you know what? They were photoed out, and
Yeah, but
I think,
still.
and it was one of those conversation pieces between the photographer and I. I was like, I don't know if I can get him to come out for, I forget. I think it was like sunset photos or whatever it was. And the couple, like the guys, he kept saying, he's like, my cheeks hurt, my cheeks hurt. And the photographer, who it's not from this area, so somewhere else, I just full on yelled at them, you're gonna regret not taking that. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
And so they
gosh.
got up and they did it. And it was one of those where I'm like, if you're not gonna respect the couple, then maybe that's not the right vendor to be recommending. But
Yeah, 100%. If somebody
Yeah.
comes on site, luckily with our experience, we have unlimited resources of
Yeah.
fabulous
Mhm.
vendors.
Right.
But if I have somebody that's new, which I'm open to working with all new people, different,
Mhm.
in being introduced to different vendors from all over the place. But if you under deliver, or if I notice, what should have been provided and my couples didn't receive that and paid for that, of course I'm not going to recommend you. And planners pay attention to every single detail when we walk on site. So I'm looking at, how full are the florals for what you charge, because I know 10 other florists that charge a certain price and this is what they deliver. Or, there's so many different things, your attitude, how you work with other vendors, I'm paying attention to. If you're extremely difficult, I might not recommend them. They just have to be for a specific couple or a specific vendor team that can handle that personality. But yeah.
And if they show up like a wrinkled mess,
Yeah.
I put to my vendors there is
You
a
gotta
dress
look
code.
stylish.
Yes.
No, but
You
just,
do
oh my
actually, because
gosh,
I've
I
gotten
run
your
a
emails.
dry
You've got
shampoo
my-
with
yeah.
caffeine.
You're like,
No,
I got you're like, even to the nails. I think it's your
Yes.
email. You're
Yeah.
like, make sure you don't have like flaked off nail polish.
Yeah, like red
I'm
and
like,
chipped.
this has to be a blanket email just because I don't show up that way. I'm like,
No.
but you know what though? I don't blame you because I mean,
it's a representation of you too
Exactly.
if you're
So,
suggesting them.
because of my photo booth company, I sometimes see other photographers because obviously being a photographer, I don't see other photographers. It floors me. When some of what other people wear, I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, you're showing up to work.
You're
Like,
at a luxury venue
or
in
wedding.
Converse sneakers and jeans and a black
I
sweatshirt.
always tell people though, like if I could just take pictures, I would just be 10 times better photographer. But I have to also I can't just be there to take pictures. Like I have to also there's a lot of dynamics, personalities, families, vendors,
That's
venues.
why you have planners. That's why you should be suggesting planners to start in the middle of the process or
But even then, though, I still, as a photographer, even if there was, the A team on deck and there's planners, I'm still dealing with personalities. As a photographer,
of course,
I am
dealing with personalities.
literally working. I'm one of the few vendors, just like wedding planners, who is physically working with the client in real time on the day.
And I leave my photographers alone. The photographers like you, they're all seasoned. I'm like, do you want me there? Like you're like, yeah, your assistant can handle fluffing a dress. If it's maybe a big wedding party, I'll send my assistant to kind of hang out and help. But you guys drive the bus. It's your time.
Once we hand them off, it's like, there's also photographers though that I don't know what kind of planners they're used to working with, but like this is kind of sidetracking, but this just reminded me of that. You're requesting like us to be your transportation, or can we ride with you? Or we don't want to park downtown because we don't want to pay. Do we want to pay?
I know.
Wow.
Do we want to, I have a team that all have something to do at certain times. So I don't want to be somebody's transportation. I have a job to do as well. So like, I don't know if their experience working with planners has just been like holding the clipboard and smiling, or if they're actually like down and dirty getting
I gotta be
into
honest with you. There's a lot of planners that just don't know what they're doing and they just kind of get in the way.
Oh, so they're used as like let's use them to the best of their ability if they're going to be
what
that
I'm
kind
saying
of
is,
thing,
when
right?
you say you don't know how, like what they're used to, I'm saying there's all different types of planners out there. Like there's not planners that are just very organized and like helpful like you guys. There's some planners that might do that. I don't know who they are. I mean, maybe they're like their assistant. They like maybe they have a green room set up for the photographers too. Like I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of planners that they just get in the way. All
and
around.
it's not that we wouldn't help. If we have time to help, we certainly will help. Like I said,
I
one team will go.
I mean that.
But-
I mean that in like the way it's coming out. Like it's you're like, wow, that's negative. It's true. Like there's some planners that just don't know what they're doing and they just make a mess.
They don't know their place.
They don't. They just
But
They're,
I'm
they're
shocked,
overly
though. I'm
planning,
like,
and
you're
they're just
asking me for
Does that make sense? Like they're
transportation?
overly helping, overly making. Like it's just I think Pamela, you said it right. They don't know their place, or you know what it is. They're trying. At the end of the day, I think they're just trying to be helpful, but they don't realize like who they're like. You got to know who you're working with. There's certain vendors I'm sure that you guys work with that you're like, okay, this particular florist, I need to handhold them more, or this florist, I just need to leave them alone. Like, does that make sense? Like, they just
Yeah, but we try to build teams not like
and
that.
just
Or
for
at
me-
least
For
I
me,
do.
I can tell you right now, for me, I don't care. Like I go to the level of whatever vendor I work with. So like if somebody wants to do that and like, oh, like I'm like, sure, but I've been doing it for long enough that I know how to play in the sandbox with people. But I'm just saying, I've seen some planners, I'm like, wow, just wow.
Yeah.
Or I've had to say, like, don't overthink this. Like, just here's
That's what I mean.
you know,
Yeah.
like, not only did you put together your timeline, I have a full wedding script. And I had one email me, I need to tell my assistant where the groom is. First page of the wedding script. Like, I'm not even,
That's what I
and
mean
then
by
I did
wow.
end up like,
Yeah.
texting her, but I'm like, you need to read this the night before. Like, read this. Cause we all read it like a book. That's why, like, 7 business days out, I need everything done. But also getting back to some like new vendors. I had a photographer and they were like, oh, it says 8 minutes to the church. I'm like, that's in December. Like, I'm like, now I said, unless you're going on a moped in and out of traffic, I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I said, it's on a trolley, and how many times have you been stopped taking pictures and going down to the lobby now?
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, that's what I mean by like, there's some photographers, like, I mean, it's clear as day. Like, it's clear as day when the clients are exhausted with pictures. Because at the end of the day, the clients think they want all these pictures, but then in real time, it's not as great as an idea as it is in their mind. Because they're like, oh my God, I just want to go have a drink. I just want to go see my guests.
Yeah, I have code words with my couples.
Yeah, and like, so as a photographer, you're there. And you have to. It's a balancing act. Like, you have to be like, all right, I can read them. They're done, and let them go. But doesn't mean that they're not going to get a second one and want to do this again. So what I do in my couples is I just go back in and I check it. I'm like, do you still want to do that picture of your aunt? And like, sometimes they're like, nope, cross it. They've told me to cross it out.
Yeah.
They're my boss, so they told me to cross it out. We're good. But until they tell me, I got to check in with them. And then sometimes they're like, let's go do it now. They just needed a drink or something. You know, like, but. I don't know. Some people, their egos are just, they're there and they're a whole personality and they're
I'm
there.
sorry that was your experience with some planners.
It's fine. Like, it doesn't bother me. I just like,
She's a
it
bull
doesn't-
when
it
you're
doesn't
on
bother
site,
me.
though. Like, I've worked with you before, and you're just like a bull. You come in, get your stuff done.
hopefully in a good way.
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people need direction. When you come on site, you're focused and
Not with my clients. I keep my clients with kid gloves. Like but I know what you mean. Like
I mean, like a bull with your job, and as a photographer.
I always
with your presence, like you drive the ship, which
Yeah.
is good. I don't want to drive a photographer ship.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that I don't like.
We got
with my
enough ships to
couples-
drive,
Yeah.
with my couples, I
or
just,
sail,
like,
or I don't know what it's. I don't know.
with my couples, I just, I just smile, I nod, and I just like don't, I just let them run the show, basically, But anyway, okay. So I think that wraps up my Never Have I Ever.
Okay,
I think
Sounds
so.
good.
that
All
wasn't
right.
as bad.
So, with that said, for our listeners, what I will do is I will have our episode show notes on our blog, and that way with links to where you could find our guest and how to get a hold of them if you ever want to continue this conversation. And but with that said, I want to thank you all for joining me on this week's episode
This was
of Wedding
fun.
Secrets Unveiled.
This was actually really fun. Thank you
I'm
for
so
having
happy
me.
you guys join me. It's fun just to have an entertainment one. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. All
It
right.
was entertaining.
Thank
Fair.
you.
Thank you for listening to Wedding Secrets Unveiled. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, I want to tell you something. I encourage you to check out our website at sarazarella.com. We love photographing while having fun, of course. Check out our podcast page on our website for our show notes along with upcoming episodes with your local wedding experts. Listen in as we help you plan your epic event. And don't forget that you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. I would so appreciate if you left a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support and let us know what you think. If you know any wedding experts that would like to be a guest, we have a link directly on our website where they can let us know. Thank you for listening.